A very good evening to you and welcome to Correro, where we tackle Nigerians' most intense political battles with deep insight. I am Godwin Sunday, your host for tonight. And of course, tonight we will be examining the storm around the People's Democratic Party in the just concluded 2025 National Convention, a gathering meant to set a new direction, but which has instead exposed bitter divisions, legal threats, and a shocking purge of senior party figures. At the Ibadan Convention, let's even bring you and put these issues in perspective and help you have a background understanding to what transpired in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Well, the PDP announced the expulsion of key heavyweights like the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, the former Ekiti Governor Ayo Fayose, and Senator Anyanwu Samuel. Others are also were accused of anti-party activities, and of course they were suspended. The motion was moved by Chief Bode George and seconded by Governor Bala Muhammad, signaling a factional takeover or a fierce effort to enforce party discipline. But these moves followed weeks of legal fireworks. A federal high court in Abuja, led by Justice James Omotosho, has restrained the People's Democratic Party from proceeding with its convention, ruling that the party failed to comply with its own constitution and neglected mandatory 21-day notices to INEC. Another suit filed by Sule Lamido resulted in a separate court order halting again the convention until certain conditions are met. Supporters of Wike applauded the judiciary's intervention, calling it a rare stand against impunity within the party ranks and files. But its distractors at the convention dismissed its camp's objection. Well, in the heat of the Ibadan gathering, some delegates even went as far as calling the event a premature Dirty December, a social gathering hiding behind the guise of party business. The emerging leadership, while celebrating a hard-fought victory, now faces deep skepticism. Can People's Democratic Party truly rebuild around this new structure when so many of its founding figures have been pushed out? Will reconciliation follow, or is this just the beginning of a more dangerous fraction? To help us sort out all of this and also help us examine the various crises within the People's Democratic Party, I'm being joined in the studio by Honorable Charles Gold Nachi, who is a public affairs analyst and also a political commentator. And I'm also in the studio by Salifu Ogeche Usman, who is a legal practitioner. And tonight, both of them will help us make sense with this conversation. Well, stay with us after this short break. We'll dive straight into the conversation. Please go nowhere as Correro continues in a moment. Well, gentlemen, you're welcome to Correro. All right, a lot of issues are begging for answer tonight, but then let's begin with Honorable Charles Godnachi. There's been this argument that this whole convention is going to further divide the cracks and expand the cracks within the People's Democratic Party. But then, how will you assess the convention in general?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. I think that PDP is having what to call one day, one trouble. From one problem to another problem. When I looked through their convention, I discovered that, unlike PDP before, if you watch through the PDP previous convention, you see how the venue of the convention were being jam-packed by the multitude of people who attended the convention. But in this last concluded convention of PDP on Saturday, if you look through, you discover that the venue of the convention we are somehow empty. So just as a result of having a kind of a reduction of supporters, both from the number of governorship, state governors they had, you know, House of Assembly members they had previously that have decamped to the ruling party. So it has a way of affecting even the convention they organized last Saturday. So I think that PDP is really going through a lot. It's like a child that is sick that need an urgent medication. So not minding the convention they did, even after the convention, the case, the battle, the problem within PDP is yet to be settled.
All right, Barrister, let's come to you at this point. From a legal standpoint, of course, there's been a debate that the old convention did not adhere to the People's Democratic Party's constitution. It did not adhere to INEC political party regulations. But looking at it from a legal standpoint, what's your general take on the elections?
Thank you, Mr. Sunday, for having me on this program tonight. I want to start by saying that this is not the best of times for the People's Democratic Party, in the sense that the PDP is bedeviled with all forms of challenges, legal, political, social, and otherwise. From all fronts, the PDP is facing challenges. Speaking legally, going into the convention, there were 3 court judgments on whether the PDP, as it were, could hold the convention that it held between Saturday and Sunday, or it were not properly composed to hold the convention. The 4th judgment came on the 31st of October, delivered by my Lord James Omotosho. In that suit, filed by Judge Tona, Austin Ikechukwu, and one Ama Nana, they challenged the notices issued by the then chairman of the PDP, Damagun, which didn't have the endorsement of the then national secretary, Samuel Anyang. And the court held that the purported notice couldn't be proper and that the PDP had not adhered to its own constitution, which boils down to internal democracy and adhering to rule of law and your own constitution. And the court on that ground restrained the PDP from proceeding with the convention. Few days thereafter, His Excellency Sule Lamido, former governor of Jigawa, also approached the court presided over by my Lord Peter Lifu, a federal high court in Abuja here, and his own ground for challenging the proprietary or otherwise of the forthcoming convention was the fact that he, as a candidate, would not been availed the opportunity to purchase chairmanship for. And in my Lord's wisdom, he agreed with him and also restrained the PDP from proceeding with the convention. Then another Adeyinka Folahan in Oyo State, Ibadan, also approached the court in Ibadan, presided over by my Lord A.L. Akintola, also seeking the order of the courts to grant PDP leave to proceed with its convention. And I think on Friday, the Ibadan court granted PDP the leave to go ahead and conduct or hold its convention. And lo and behold, it went ahead and held that convention. So it's a very slippery ground, I must say. It's a very slippery ground because there are a whole lot of issues coming out of all of these judgments and counter judgments.
So invariably, is this decision from the court 3 different interpretations?
3 different judgments.
3 different judgments?
Yes.
Is the convention legitimate? From the standpoint of the law.
The controversy there is that these the three courts are all courts of coordinate jurisdiction.
That's what I'm curious. Is the convention legitimate? The outcome of the election, is it legitimate?
I strongly believe that the outcome, the legitimacy or otherwise of this just concluded convention of the People's Democratic Party will ultimately be determined by the courts. Because already it was held on a very slippery ground. So the court will ultimately have to be the one to decide whether the convention was proper, was valid, and was done in accordance to the extant laws.
Well, Honorable Charles, let's come to you. When you look at the whole convention preparations, of course, you've mentioned that the turnout was low. A lot of members, the party faithfuls from People Democratic Party, I'm not holding brief for them, but they will tell you that it's due to economic factors that has been facilitated by the ruling All Progressive Congress, of course. But then when you look at the outcome of the election, what message is the People's Democratic Party sending to Nigerians about its readiness to challenge the ruling All Progressive Congress come 2027? Let's not even start from the 2026 elections in Osun State and then back to FCT. What message do you think that the People's Democratic Party, are they ready to win any seat in Nigeria as it stands right now?
Well, let me start by responding to the last question you threw to my colleague here in the studio. If whether they just concluded the PDP National Convention is legal and being backed up by law. I think that the last judgment that was passed by Supreme Court declared that the activities of a political party should be determined by the party, not by court. In other words, party has their right based on their internal constitution to conduct or to carry out the activities according to what their constitution said, not based on according to what court said. So if I'm to say, I would say that they just concluded a convention of PDP
will be determined by court.
not just being determined by court.
Oh, all right.
Because court has already said that political party is left for them to decide what will happen within themselves. That is not based on affairs. Yes, it's their internal affairs. So it's not based on court decisions. So therefore, that is to say, all the injunctions.
I thought that ruling was peculiar to the Labour Party.
Yeah, see, any court ruling given to any particular party is also reflecting to any political party in Nigeria. For the fact the judgment was given in Nigeria, it also affects all the political parties. So if you carry the same matter, go to court, court will also review when something like this happened, what was the decision of court. So that is also what they also stand on to also pass the judgment and say, previously, when something like this happened, this was our decision. So if a matter like this come up again from different party, we also stand on our ground and say, this is what court have said. So therefore, you people should go and settle on an internal democracy.
So in your own opinion, the elections, the convention was legitimate?
Yes. The convention that was done on Saturday was legitimate. So court does not have any right to stop it.
So this
don't forget that the convention of PDP, is the highest organ making of the party. The national convention, that is where the highest decision has been taken. So what happened last Saturday, I don't think that any court of any jurisdiction will be able to obtain it. What happened last Saturday.
So by that convention right now, you're saying that PDP has proven itself to be super ready to even challenge power from and defeat the ruling All Progressive Congress. It's what the outcome we've seen play out. We saw play out, I beg your pardon, on Saturday.
The worst thing that would have happened to PDP would have been if they have declined from organizing that convention. Their problem would have been more worse. But for proceeding, going on with the convention, yeah, at least they have set the record straight. Now they are now sitting back waiting for anything to happen. Just like it's better you score goal. Let it be that referee say that you scored the goal through the offside than not scoring goal at all. So PDP, they have scored the goal.
Well, we'll come back to you even on that. Let's come to Barrister. Looking at the convention decision and the current reality of our grassroots politics, especially PDP that has been known to be a national political party, do you think at this point that the whole situation, the wishes of that convention, the decisions that were taken, largely reflect the wishes and aspiration of grassroots members or the influence of political heavyweights within the party?
Sincerely, I must tell you that the decision taken, most particularly the expulsion of His Excellency Nyesom Wike and 10 others from the party, really resonates with PDP grassroots members. In fact, it is a very popular decision that the average grassroots PDP supporter has been yearning for.
Even though Port Harcourt people staged the walkout.
Port Harcourt people staged the walkout.
Even
Osun delegates were not there.
Were nowhere to be found. So it doesn't reflect the national decision.
But that goes to tell you that these are not the best of times for PDP. Because PDP went into that convention as a very fractured house. As a house hugely divided against itself. But again, like my friend, the Honorable said here, I think it is still best for PDP that convention held. Because if that convention had failed to hold, then PDP would have been on a life support, and its coming back to life would have been a matter left for conjecture.
Well, we'll take a short break right now. When we come back, we will talk about the leadership strife within the People's Democratic Party, and of course, the decision to bring in a new chairman. How legitimate is this chairman, and how legitimate is this decision? Not only the convention, but then the persons that have been elected to serve in various capacity within the party ranks and files. Please go nowhere as the show continues in a moment. A former minister, Kabiru Turaki, has emerged as the People's Democratic Party chairman, national chairman. But then let me throw this to first to you, Honorable. Looking at this whole process, a lot of people say there is a disconnect right now between that and the fact again that Kabiru Turaki is loyal to the likes of the Bauchi State Governor, and is loyal again to Goodluck Jonathan, having served under his administration. When you look at this, Saraki has called for the cancellation of the election, of the convention, I beg your pardon. And a few persons have also called for the cancellation, which means automatically they're likely going to be on the side of Wike and on the side of what we call gentleman reasoning. But with this divide, where a lot of people have alleged that the current national chairman, his loyalty is tilted towards one side. With this, do we see the People's Democratic Party coming out as a strong, formidable body to contest and win any election in Nigeria?
Well, the truth is that nobody has the right to call for the cancellation of PDP National Convention that was held last Saturday. No individual has the capacity, has the right to call for the cancellation of just concluded PDP convention. It's only court of competent jurisdiction has the right to declare that the convention that was organized last Saturday by PDP did not reach or did not match the constitution. So if not so, nobody. Like as I said before, what PDP have done was to rebuild their house. The tenure of the previous leaders has elapsed.
So what about the fact that Kabiru Turaki is loyal to Bala Mohammed and is loyal to the likes of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and is not loyal to the faction of Nyesom Wike? Won't this further again, although he has been expelled from the party,
the truth is,
won't this further deepen the cracks within the People's Democratic Party?
The truth is that not everybody in a particular party will be happy or will like any leader that will emerge. There must be 1 or 2 or 3 persons that will be opposing the very candidate, while others will be rejoicing, others will be sad. That is party. That is a political party. Even in an election, somebody will lose, somebody have to win. So previous chairman from the like of Damago was before and loyal to Wike. He was loyal to Wike. In fact, there was a time they wanted to remove him. Wike stood on his ground to defend him. Wike and others. And the 5 former G5 governors, which is made up of former governor of Abia State, Enugu State, the one in Sheyi Makinde, and Benue, Samuel Oto. They stood on their ground. After they must have removed Ayo, the one that left from former national chairman from Benue State. They fought him and they removed him. So Yoshayo. So it's always from one problem to another. PDP have not had any chairman that survived his tenure. No PDP chairman has ever survived one tenure. So this one that just finished Nigeria, that he was not. In fact, there was a heavy battle for him to have removed, for him to have been removed, long time ago. But they continue patching the party to make sure that his tenure will be exhausted. So immediately his tenure is exhausted. If they did not conduct that national convention, that means there will be vacuum. So now, seeing that the one that just have emerged now, Turaki, is loyal to Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, and yes, he served under former President Goodluck Jonathan as a minister of special duties, and him and Bala, then Bala was a FCT minister, so both of them served under the same government. And don't forget that there's a plan to bring back Jonathan. Okay, allegedly.
Yes.
No. Well, that's allegedly, because even to the convention, both of
Jonathan
us
have not come out to say he's coming to pick tickets.
He don't have to say it. In politics, you have to remain your silent. When others will be working from the background. So we saw Jonathan's poster and that of Bala during the national PDP national convention. That is to tell you that something is cooking, which by the end of the day we'll see the end result of it.
We are waiting to see the end. At the end of the convention, Barrister, a lot of people were shouting that food is ready for lawyers. But then, I want to throw this open to you. Is the food actually ready? Is legal battles going to start immediately? Or the whole process of the election, are legal practitioners going to turn a blind eye and say, hey, this election met all the requirements from INEC to the Electoral Act, to PDP's constitution, and as such lawyers are going to turn blind eye to this whole election? Or is the food actually ready?
Food is ready. You know, even before the convention itself,
the food was ready.
The legal fireworks have begun already. That's why you had 3 conflicting judgments even at the eve of the convention. You had the 2 judgments from the Federal High Court in Abuja, and you had the judgment from the High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State. So it goes without saying that we should expect a follow-up. Those who went to court and got an order to restrain the PDP from holding the convention will do a follow-up. They will definitely, in the course of this week, be approaching the court. My lord, you gave an order restraining the PDP from holding its convention. They had gone ahead in apparent violation of your order, nullify the convention. They will definitely approach the court, and so many others will take steps to either nullify the convention or have the convention affirmed. So definitely my colleagues so many will be heading to courts, and like you said, food should be ready.
So I'm asking because the likes of Kabiru Turaki, is this seat not going to be too heavy for him? And will he enjoy some form of level of sanity looking at the whole political terrain right now within the People's Democratic Party? You
know, politics is a very interesting and intriguing game that has its own codes. So whether Saminu Taraki will settle down, enjoy relatively peace, carry out the functions of his office or otherwise, it depends on how he plays his cards. For me, a grounded politician, haven't assumed any office, your first task is to call for reconciliation. We are in this to build the party. We are in this to build the country. It is time for us to bury the hatchet and begin to build. You know, most often than not, people fight when their ego is at stake. If you can stoop to conquer, why not, if not?
You mean to fight for reconciliation in the party that is national headquarters is still under lock and keys?
The national headquarters is under lock and keys today. But who says that reconciliation, negotiation, engagement, discussion can open the door, the door to the national headquarters of PDP? The best thing for Saminu Turaki, I know he is a seasoned politician. He has risen through the ranks, so he should know. And at this point, he used to be one of the disciples of Atiku Abubakar. They are grounded in grassroots politics and otherwise. He should know what to do. He is now the national chairman. There is every need for him to begin to bring the house together, to preach peace, so that they can put the party on
looking
the
at this
path
critically, in the next coming months, do we see the People's Democratic Party going back to do or conduct another convention based on the number of cases we have on ground right now? If the courts decide to go by the injunctions that and the various judgments that we've seen play out, in coming days, are we seeing People's Democratic Party planning for another convention?
From the political perspective, I wouldn't wish PDP to find itself in that situation.
From the legal
angle? From the legal angle, it is possible. Why is it possible? There is an order of court. Remember that in legal parlance, there is this established principle of law and understanding that a judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction, no matter how frivolous it seems to an individual, must be obeyed until and unless it is set aside. Now you have two judgments that says don't hold your convention. You have one judgment that says go ahead and hold your convention. Remember, the judgment that says go ahead and hold your convention was an interim order. It was made without the other party being heard. So if you look at the if weights are to be attached to this judgment on their individual standing, more weight should be attached to the judgments that tend to restrain the PDP from holding the Congress, because those matters went through the full gamut of judicial proceeding. But the High Court of Oyo gave its order via an ex parte application. But be that as it may, what will happen, legally speaking, will depend on the courts. It will depend on the subsequent decisions of the courts, whether at the Court of Appeal level or at the Supreme Court. It will depend on the position the court chooses to take. And if the court decides that the convention was a wrong footing, then unfortunately the PDP might be forced to hold another convention. But politically, I will enjoin the PDP to do everything within its best to sustain the momentum. I think they are on the right path.
Okay, so Honorable Charles, let's come to you and look at the whole election in itself. A lot of public commentators, public affairs analysts have come out to say that the leadership, the national leadership of the party right now is being perceived as not reflecting the zoning system of the People's Democratic Party, and as such, a lot of people should disregard the whole convention because it does not reflect what the People's Democratic Party stand for. When you look at the leadership structures of the party, do you think it best describe the People Democratic Party in terms of its zoning principle that it has always preached?
Well, this issue of zoning principle was one of the major issues that made PDP to lose a 2023 election, presidential election. Because when Atiku emerged, what Wike was contesting was that the then PDP national chairman, Ayo, should step aside, elect somebody from South to take over the leadership of the chairmanship leadership of PDP, which could not happen. So Wike and the other G5 governor decided to work against the party. So now the truth is that there is no any time when you will say in a particular party that the setting of the leadership is in order. One person or two persons must only come up to say that this one was not done according to the constitution. This person that emerged from so tribe, so region was not expected. This is where this person is supposed to be. But I think in all the whole things, what every member of a PDP should be thinking of how to rebuild and move ahead, instead of allowing what has happened to set them backward. They should be thinking about the interest. They should bury their personal interest. What is playing out now is personal interest. It must be me. It must be me. The chairman must come from my side. The secretary must come from my side. I must be done to appoint the legal advisor of the party. So if if their interests were not met, that is where you see them, start fighting to make sure that they bring down the party. And that is not good. So if truly you're a member of PDP, you love PDP, put aside your personal interests. This is a time for total reconciliation. This is a time for every member of a PDP to come together and say, we'll be fighting this battle for a long time. Don't forget that this battle started before 2023 election. It started because of how former Vice President Atiku Abubakar emerged. PDP Wike was not happy. From there, it looked like a man who have labored for the party. To be honest with you, Wike has truly labored for the party.
He's not the only one that have labored for the party.
No. There was a time.
Wike is not the only person that have labored for the party. Of course, we have founding fathers that have labored for the party.
Yeah, but when they were needed, they were nowhere to be found. Well, all those founding fathers you may mention of.
Well, a lot of PDP faithful will disagree with you.
Let me tell you, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Wike single-handedly fought for the party. So that's why any form of maltreatment that was made to him, he's not happy. When you are angry, they say angry man is an angry man.
When you say Wike, you literally fought for the party.
Yes,
you want to elaborate on that?
There was a time when Ali Modu Sheriff was the chairman. In fact, though it was them, the same Wike and Fayose that brought him. But when they saw that the thing was not working as expected, they started to fight him and remove him. So that was also when PDP was also divided. We have the like of a former governor of Kaduna State. What was his name?
McCarthy.
McCarthy had his own PDP faction as a chairman. Then Ali Modu has his own. So PDP were totally divided. But irrespective of the challenge they were going through that time, Wike and Fayose, both of them stood on their ground to make sure that they will remove.
By championing the cracks.
I'm telling you, to make sure that they remove Ali Modu
the cracks.
So immediately they remove him.
Let's get you clear. They championed the cause of further deepening the cracks.
Will I say deepening? No, it's not deepening, because they want to reconcile the party. Or they can say that they want to remove the party from the hand of those.
Further throwing the party into a state of coma.
To remove the party from the hand of those who does not mean to work for the party.
Okay.
So allegedly,
McCarthy does not mean well for the party. Ali Sharif does not mean well for the party. And both of them went.
They were on the side of McCarthy. Yes. Wike and Fayose were on the side of McCarthy to continue. They were on the side of faction of McCarthy. So they did all they can to make sure that they remove Ali Modu Sheriff, and which they succeeded through these litigations from one court to another court. That was where we saw different court judgment. In fact, in a day you can get 2 or 3 for different courts, for different states of the federation. This one can run even in a court where they don't have the jurisdiction. We saw a whole lot of things happen. PDP have showed us a lot of things in this country. That party, this party, PDP, we have seen a whole lot of things from this party. Well, that was where you see what do you call it? Wait and take judgment. You wait, as you wait, you take your judgment and go.
Is it photograph? Well,
what and take judgment?
Well, that's
happen on the PDP.
Well, that's on a lighter note. Well, let me come back. Of course, we've come back to Barrister. You've come to your purview again. A lot of speculations have also said that the Nigerian legal system is the major challenge with our democratic growth. That is, when we elect people into offices, we see the court upturn this decision, and it is becoming like a recurring phenomenon and a common decimal factor. Hence, people don't even trust the electoral umpire, INEC. Rather, they would rather bank on having a competent lawyer that will defend them and help them to win cases in court. But how correct is it to say that lawyers and the legal practitioners are largely part of why we have instability within the political space?
Thank you for this very important question. I would want to start by saying that the average Nigerian think that the problem of persons being elected and the elections being upturned in the court lies largely at the doorstep of judicial officers or judges. Most Nigerians think that lawyers and judges are doing magic, undermining the people's mandate, undermining the people's effort at electing their representatives, without taking cognizance of the fact that there is political chaos which is being exported into the judicial system. The major problem is the Nigerian disdain for rule of law and due process. Election is considered as warfare in Nigeria. As the political system is heating up, what do our politicians do? They are amassing wealth, they are amassing even weapons, they are amassing all kinds of strength, they are muzzling the system, they are preparing for warfare. And when they go to election, it is no longer a contest of ideas in Nigeria. It is no longer a contest of who you were, what you've done for your people before now, but it is a contest of strength. And when their strength fails or prevails on the political field, they now continue the warfare in the courts. And even in the process of continuing that warfare, they overwhelm and compromise the judicial system. They put a lot of pressure on the judicial system. They put a lot of pressure on the judges. And at the end of the day, you have all kinds of judgment that doesn't sit well with the Nigerian populace. Sometimes the people feel that the people they're truly elected are being taken out of office, and those who were defeated are being brought back for frivolous, flimsy, all kinds of excuses. But again, the problem lies with the Nigerian politician. He is so desperate, he will stop at nothing to get power. Even the judge is a victim of the system.
Well, I know that Honorable want to quickly react to that before we move on.
Well, the truth is that will I say that we need to reform our electoral system. A few days ago I was here, I don't know whether it will happen, that there's a bill that has been going on in the National Assembly to conduct election by 2026 so that the litigations will go on.
It's been speculated, it's been thrown around.
Okay, so that the litigations will be concluded before the swearing in. So I think if that will happen, it will help to a kind of balance our electoral system and also balance our make the citizens or the electorate to have confidence both on the judiciary, both on our electoral system too. Very, very important.
So as it stands right now, no election or convention in Nigeria is safe.
Seriously, no election is safe in Nigeria.
No convention
is safe in Nigeria. So all we are doing, just like I said before, just wait and take judgment.
Allegedly wait and take judgment. Because I have a lot of judges watching you.
In fact, as I watched today, I was watching television.
We had the wait and take judgment. Well,
I was watching television today.
It's an alleged wait and take judgment.
Yeah, I was watching television today. Someone will say that the next thing you will hear is that court has reinstated weak and Fayose, he said this you will hear that court has reinstated them. So you see a lot. In fact, even before the judgment, the citizen has already known what the outcome will be. I'm telling you,
is that bad?
Before election will start, the citizen has already known. The last concluded election in Anambra, some Anambra people were even playing football. Some they refused to go. Some will even tell you, say, forget, we already have known what the outcome will be. That's what I mean. So citizens, that means people have lost confidence, both on the electoral system, both on the judiciary. So they have no one to be that good. That's why even as the PDP had their national convention last Saturday, do you know some people even say, even on the explosion of the week, I will say, forget it can't stand. So by Monday, which is today, I don't know, maybe by the time you reach, we may hear that they have the judgment.
That food is ready.
Nothing has happened.
We heard that food is ready.
That food is ready.
Nothing has so
if it did happen to them, maybe first thing tomorrow morning before 10 a.m.
Let's not speculate that there will be legal, but of course, the barrister is here. He will not want us to go that far. Am I correct, barrister?
Very well.
Let's keep hope alive and be positive that this convention will stand and the PDP will put his house together and ensure that they reconcile those aggrieved parties.
To be honest with you, that's what any lover of PDP is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Put aside your personal interests. This PDP, you know what it means? This was the ruling party. In fact, at the time, I was even thinking, is it because the boss that they want to rule this country for over 100 years? I don't know whether maybe the enemy decided to capitalize on that statement.
Well, I think they were not prepared to fight play the role of opposition.
Seriously.
They were used to a command structure where instruction flows from the president. So when they lost that leadership, they lost control and chaos took over. And that is what we are saying.
And once they don't have a person from the presidential level to give order. Like now we are seeing a lot of governors, the campaign from various states moving to APC. Definitely the problem will come. But because they have their leader from presidency.
Gentlemen, I wish we have more time to delve into a lot of this conversation, because I know we are just scratching the surface, trying to even understand if the leadership tussle within the People's Democratic Party will stand, or the People's Democratic Party members and party faithfuls will look the other way in order to ensure that unity and harmony is restored back to the party. But we are optimistic that the People's Democratic Party will find its feet again, and we have free, fair and credible elections across the country. But I want to say thank you so much, gentlemen, for finding out time to be with us here on Correro.
Thank you so much.
It's a delight to have this gentleman and having such a deep conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on Correro. Don't forget that you can follow us across all our social media handles currently showing on your screen. And you can download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Godwin Sunday. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.